Hello and welcome to some more Not For Broadcast. Game that has a bit of a oddball take to it. In the last episode we got to see the main newscaster get taken off air, so this should be interesting.
Good evening, Alex. It's Bozeman here. Hope all's well with the family. Just a heads up, we're expecting those troublemakers at Disrupt to attempt to hack the channel during the broadcast, so keep an eye on the interference screen and stay out of the orange. Let's keep the news on the air. It's important, now more than ever.
Screaming at some pensioners while they try and fashion a nutritious meal out of a can of condensed milk, a cow's tongue, and some rhubarb. Not one to miss.
So, Julia's team have asked me to ask you to keep it light.
Well, what does that mean?
Means to do that thing you do where you turn politicians into humans. Just don't get drawn into talking about the war.
Seems like there was an update.
They do know this is the news, don't they?
Someone's gone yet, it's still a thing.
Apparently, there's a crew at Team HQ right now. Each doing a speech or something tonight. They'll get it on the news.
Oh, great. So they get the brains and we get the
Yeah,
performing
this
monkey.
is completely new to me, so I'm gonna probably mess this up.
Sometimes you sound just like him, you know.
How are you?
Who's all this?
To survive the cruel administrations of our neighbours.
It
At
is what it is.
11:25, it's in sizes.
It
And
is what it
tonight, Dr. Adrian Atkinson Blimey
I
will be
listen
getting
to
his
you now.
teeth into Fiona from Hamble Bambleby, who's
10
invented a
seconds,
tasty
everybody.
twist on the humble biscuit.
Rumble.
And that takes us, after the weather and public information
Going in
film,
5,
into our close down.
4,
But first
3.
tonight, it's time to join Megan and the team for the National Night.
Good evening. This is the National
There we
Nightly
go.
News. I'm Megan Wolfe. It's the 140th day of war. Our main headlines tonight. Company of
Some war
Heroes.
now?
Skirmishes on land and sea again today as our armed forces tested the mettle of the World Council's illegal blockade. Advance's strategy of multiple small-scale incursions into the disputed zone is certainly keeping the enemy on high alert, unable to work out where or when the next strike will come. Sadly, however, more casualties were reported today, and as the weeks and months of this war make ever more demands on our armed services, those numbers will, tragically, only continue to rise. Don't starve. Advance's food programme moved from strength to strength today as rationing depots were opened in the last remaining unfed areas of the territory. The rationing depots have been constructed in record time, and the government's agricultural coordination strategy has seen shelves restocked with increasing regularity. And judging by the looks on this happy family's faces, it can't come a moment too soon. They'll be getting a good meal tonight on the government, just like the rest of us. 7 days to die. The recent decision to allow those with long-term health conditions to access transition centres has today been declared an overwhelming success. Previously available only to those in their final years, the expansion of the service has been met with relief by the many organisations
Really
calling
long
for it to be
lines.
opened up to the wider community. With dwindling medical supplies leaving many of our most vulnerable facing chronic pain, it can come as no surprise that the transition centres have found themselves stretched to capacity. Populace. More than 11% of the population have thus far failed to register for a team membership card, a worrying statistic given that the cards are a legal requirement from midnight tonight. While applications are still open for those who like to run fashionably late, they can expect a few tricky questions from Advance. Start me up. Disrupt spokesman Alan James held an impromptu rally today in the northern city of Mankipool. Large crowds gathered to hear the band speaker prove Disrupt are still able to capture the public's imagination. A representative from the Mankipool Community Cohesion Team described the event as mostly peaceful. But it looks like Disrupt aren't going quietly into the night. And finally, absent friends. Sad news today as the grave of former National Nightly News host Jeremy Donaldson is vandalised by radical Disrupt activists. The much-loved broadcaster suffered a
that's
very
the Alan
tragic
James
public
sign.
breakdown 10 weeks ago in an incident which ultimately cost him his life. Disrupt spokesman Alan James, whose organisation last week named Mr Donaldson as the cause's first martyr, described the graffiti as a fitting tribute to a hero of the resistance. But first this evening, with the war about to enter its 21st punishing week and people hurting up and down the country, I'll be grilling unpredictable Prime Minister Peter Clement in an exclusive interview from his home in Lancashire. That's coming up on tonight's National Nightly News.
Faded into green. I'm getting a little more used to this game like this.
In part 2, I'm a little overexcited to announce I'll be interviewing the one and only Lil C. And later we've got a new feature that's sure to keep you coming back for more. But first tonight, let's check in with Prime Minister Peter Clement, who's speaking to us from his home in Lanfordshire.
Looks like he's trying to
Good
do
evening,
an
Prime
exercise.
Minister. Have we caught you exercising?
Oh, have we started? Yes, that's right, Miss Wolf. Just a few minor adjustments. I mean, nothing drastic. I haven't joined the gym or anything. As my old man used to say, just because she won't take it up the shit, it doesn't mean you shouldn't try for a quick fiddle up the car park.
Language, Prime Minister.
What? Quick fiddle? What's wrong? Oh, shitter. It's shitter, isn't it? Yep, that's the one.
And can you tell us what brought about this here you?
Well, you know, Mrs. C and I were watching, you know, the night the blockade began. When Jeremy Donaldson...
Oh, now I gotta keep up with two things.
Well, you know, and it was blistering hot, as I'm sure you all remember.
You told me that although she has financial security for her and her family.
And Mrs. C turns to me after the signal dropped away, and she was in front of tears, and she says, Peter, she said, I couldn't go on without you, she said. So I made a decision, and since that day, I have stopped smoking cigars. Except for Christmas. Like birthdays, weddings, state dinners. That's what I say. I got this useless running backwards doesn't go anywhere. And apparently I'm going on a walking holiday this Christmas, and that should finish me off for bloody good.
Did you make the decision to holiday within the country this winter because of the blockade, Prime Minister?
Well, Mrs. C has never liked travelling at the best of times. These are certainly not the best of times.
Oh, this signal is ridiculous because I have two of them.
There's a lot of red tape involved in leaving the territories at the moment, as I'm sure you're all aware. Some of those farmers are bastard low. What? All in it together. Oh, yeah. Also,
There we go.
it doesn't
The other
seem
signal finally
very
left.
advanced to be going abroad when the rest of the country is grounded.
And yet Julia Salisbury announced today that she'll be visiting Svenland during this year's winter break. Is that really an example of team spirit?
What? Did you know
Oh, doing it
about this,
again.
Gail?
No one tells me anything, Peter. You should know that.
What did you know?
Well, leaving that for a moment, it says on this card that a body like yours must take some planning.
It's all about the now abandoned top secret military lab at Grantham Downs. We may never know exactly what was being done there, but Jeremy Donaldson.
Oh, yeah. A rigid and demanding plan that my doctor and personal trainer had.
Who's your personal trainer?
Ah, some prick called. Is that on your card?
I thought you might wonder. Prime Minister, speaking of planning, with the blockade in its 20th week and the people of this country reeling from its effects, what plans do you have to get us out of this mess?
Well, that's a very blunt.
Get some of that disrupt propaganda out. Try not to do that, Alex. We're watching
Prime
you.
Minister must have an answer.
Don't you get smart with me, Pat. I was a fucking national treasure before you were a twinkle in the milkman's scrotum. You want to talk about plans? Let me tell you about plans. That's
There we go.
all we do. Fucking plans and revised plans, and then meetings to discuss the implementation of plans and
Understood,
plans and yet
Prime
more planning for fucking plans and yet more fucking
Well,
plans.
that's good. That's good to know, Prime
Do you
Minister.
know? I used to really like you.
Dang it. There we go.
I've been watching you, and you know what? You get more like him every day.
I will take that as a compliment. Prime Minister, later on this evening, your co-leader Julia Salisbury is going to give a national address from team headquarters. Can you give us a hint of what she's going to say?
Yes. Well, I imagine.
What a good prime minister.
Sorry, you imagine?
No, what I mean is.
You do know about this broadcast, don't you, Prime Minister?
I'm sure I did. But Julia and I have no secrets from each other. We don't memorize each other's bloody diaries either. As my old man used to say, if you wanted to get a job done quick, don't get bogged down in the pew. What else you got?
Sorry?
Only cards, what else? A little piece of my life, do you want to rustle through? Yeah, refill my last. Ah, come on. Come on.
Okay. What music do you listen to when you work out?
There we go.
Well, Gail tells me that I work
I'm
out
keeping my
to
ups
LC,
right now, so that's good.
But I have absolutely no fucking idea what that is. Do you think the C stands for?
It stands for collaborative, Prime Minister.
Yeah, actually, that does make more sense, actually.
How's rationing affecting you?
It's hard, but we get by. You just have to learn to get by on the basics. Take comfort in each other. I've got Mrs. C, and many a fine single malt. I want for nothing. So for a decent night's sleep, of course.
Prime Minister, thank you for joining us. When we come back, it's time for the culture spot with Lil C and a world premiere performance.
Should I
of
play
her new
B
song.
first?
I genuinely
I'm gonna go
can't
B
wait
first,
to
I
hear
think.
that. We'll be back after this. 1 minute back, everybody.
That is what happens when you wander from the car.
I don't think you knew about her statement.
I don't think anyone's supposed to know. When you mentioned it, Bozeman's face turned a colour that I think you call embolism.
No trouble.
Bozeman? Nah, you're like the daughter you never had. Higher up to my eyes, wouldn't you?
Who's
This game
Lil
just gets
C?
weirder and weirder each time.
Who's Lil C?
Are you winding me up?
What? I'm civilized. I read books.
I got an E. Now I gotta get an A so I can actually keep going. Or B.
You'll no doubt have spotted the updated mixing desk. You'll need the new buttons during the next sections. First, we'll need applause when the guest enters and before her song. Don't worry, I'll walk you through it when we get there.
Oh, great. Alright, next part I get to use this new mix table thing. Hooray!
I've never heard of her
Dystopians.
before.
Oh, she's big, really big.
Really? Is she any good?
Of course not. Good dog shit. But kids go mad for her, absolutely mad.
5 in 10 seconds. Hang on, Colin, you've got kids.
Yeah, I've got about 6 or 7, I think.
What?
5, 4, 3.
Thanks for coming back. Later, we have an exciting new feature that we just know you're going to love, so stay tuned for that. But first, I'm really excited for our next guest. She rose to prominence as the delightful Susie May in All My Daughter's Children's Month. Before taking the music industry by storm this year, her debut album smashing the chart records at the age of just 20. Let's give it up and welcome Lil C!
The staff excellent work.
May I just say, you look incredible.
Oh, thanks, Dave. I'm doing this new regime and it really does work.
What's the regime?
My manager suggests it to me. It basically involves bathing in like cabbage water and then having the leaves sucked out of you while you sleep.
Wow, is that healthy?
Well, look at me, Meg.
I've
The
like
leaves
watched
are my
this
only
whole thing at
nourishment.
the same time as watching all
Yep,
these.
they certainly are.
And that's just in
Now,
case.
you'll have to forgive me, but I'm somewhat of a super fan, so I'm sorry if I get a bit starstruck.
Oh, bless you. I've never actually heard of you before, so if you do get a little tongue-tied, I can always carry the interview.
Oh, that's good to know. So your first album, F My Face Together, it hit shelves this summer and it just exploded. I mean, what was that like for you?
Bonkers, just so weird. I was in all the papers and the magazines. Overnight, I went from that like annoying little girl from that show to that like sexy little girl from that show.
Wow, that must have been bizarre.
Not really. It was just like any other morning. You know, get up at 5, go on a 4-mile run, have 3 meetings on my cabbage bath, but then only then was my dad actually talking to me.
Oh, of course. I mean, a famed country singer, Billy Bob Jean Short. I didn't know you'd been estranged.
There's nothing that strange about
She reminds
it.
me of like the
Okay, yes, you may
one
believe
girl
that
from, like,
aliens
Dr.
told him
Phil.
to take women, but there really isn't
you
anything
know,
to prove that
the
he's
5
wrong.
of them.
Uh-huh.
They became famous for no
So,
reason.
this newfound explosion into your popularity, I mean, did that change your life?
Well, I had to start wearing like nice underwear, you know, for the paparazzi. But as my manager says, best to make the most of it before I'm 30.
Is that right? So what's the album about?
So I thought it was about like how pretty and great I am, but actually it's about monetizing youth, I think, or about like promoting an unrealistic standard of beauty or something.
Your manager again?
Yeah, he says insecurity is an opportunity.
Oh, do you think he'd be happy with you telling us all this?
Telling you all what? It really doesn't matter what I say here. I'll do my dancing and then this part will all be forgotten about.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, we're going to see some of those famous dance moves very
Oh
soon.
yeah, dance
You're
moves.
performing your new single, aren't you?
Yeah, it's from my album Put It In My A Together and it's out. Put It In My A Together and it's out.
My friend let her 13-year-old son join the Go-Getters. He's occupied now.
Album since lunchtime and it See, this is called Cry for Help and it's going to be in all the best high street and retailer shops and it's out now. So girlies, you know what to do. Scream and cry until somebody gets it for you.
Ooh, there she goes. Blimey. All these projects, they're keeping you very busy, aren't they? It must be tough.
Yeah, it can get tough and I hate it sometimes and I hate myself. I just want to like
Ugh.
cry into a bath of root veg. But then I think
Giving me too many screens to click on.
girls would do anything to be me, so I must be quite lucky.
It's like I only have 2 hands.
You know you don't have to do this, though, don't you?
Yeah, I do think that sometimes. Most nights between like my 4th vodka and the 8th time a stranger slaps me around the arse. I think things could have been different, you know, like better. But I don't know. I love doing autographs and having somebody dress me and tell me what to wear.
Did you always want to do music?
Well, ever since I was a little girl, I did. I'd sit in front of the radio, and as soon as my favourite girl group would come on, I pressed record on my cassette. But then my dad would come in and tell me to turn it off and to go back upstairs and start practicing again.
Sorry, is your dad your manager?
Yeah, which can be tough. And sometimes when it gets really hard, he'll say, "Make Quagler proud, and you might just survive childbirth."
Well, you know what, despite anything, you'll make me proud.
Oh, if only your opinion was as valuable as his.
And on that problematic note, you're going to be singing your song for us soon, aren't you? Tell me about it, tell me about it.
So, it's called These Babies Gonna Bring You Home, and I actually got sent the lyrics in the car on the way up here. You know what, it's actually alright. And don't worry, all my work is team approved.
All right then, well, you can go and get ready for that. We'll see you in a little bit. It was a very specific type of pleasure to chat to her, and I just can't wait to hear this. Whoa, so here's Lil C with an exclusive first performance of her new track, These Babies Gonna Bring You Home. Take it away.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the force's favorite, the queen of teens.
Oh, well done. What a splendid way to annoy the guest.
Lil C.
Oh baby, can't you see I'm hungry? There's a place in me that's empty. I want that meat you're packing, only you can fill that crack in me. I'm under siege, so come and free me. Ain't no disruption here, boy, I got no agenda. Just want the team and me, no dirty foreign member. Don't
I
stop
have to watch all these
until
screens
there's
constantly.
holes in me that ain't been filled yet. I only scream
They all
this
keep changing
loud
color.
when you do your country proud. I ain't no vicar's daughter, common Spanish on my border. Quick before I get much older, tie me down and pull me like an enemy soldier. An enemy soldier. So let them try and break our dream. We fight and love and die at two. So what a Peter Clemens boys can come and use me as a toy. I wanna see some action, so come and break my sanctions. I've been this wild and free since Mama burdened me. She was only 53, but gave to save her family. judging me if I'm the one that's in your fantasy. Don't die alone, this breed is gonna bring you home. I ain't no vicar's daughter, come and skirmish on my border. Quick before I get much older, tie me down and roll me like an enemy soldier. An enemy soldier. So what if Peter Clemens boys can come and use me as a toy and flip me over, grab my hair, rip off my clothes and done from there. I wanna see some action, so come and break my sanctions.
Seen it through, like I said.
Well, if that doesn't distract you from the world outside, I don't know what will. I'd like to thank Lil C for doing that. Don't go anywhere. After the break, we'll finally be revealing the new segment of our show that we just know you're going to love. We'll be back right after this.
And we're out.
Can I just say, thank you so much for letting me do this. It really means a lot to me, you know.
Yeah.
To be able to promote myself on such a mainstream platform like the news.
Well, don't worry about it. And you know what? Good luck for the future. Take care of yourself. This industry can be crazy sometimes. Watch out for that father of yours.
Oh, no. I manage myself. It's just, you know, for the public to have that certain perspective. You know, it's like...
Oh, right.
And Michael? Michael?
What about baby Bob Jeanshaw? Is he?
Oh, my dad. He's such a sweetheart. We both had the same agents, you know, like it just made sense. Both of us for our image together.
Wow.
And Michael, I want to see the revenue share for the clothing line and get me a G&T before my meeting with the lube guys. If they say for your pleasure, I'm going to start using it.
I gotta be on that one.
I hope you've got your head around these sound effects, Alex, because you'll need all 4 buttons for the next section. Each time they light up, listen to the actors and try and pick the most appropriate effect. The actors can't hear your choices, so let's not upset them when they watch it back later.
Do I look like the sort of person who counts
I was gonna boo them
things?
the whole time.
No, not anymore. I'm better than that now. I'll tell you what, just keep adding flowers until it feels like 12. Got it?
Absolutely, right away. 10 seconds.
I hope they don't give me all 4 things to worry about.
5, 4, 3.
Thanks for joining us for part 3. We've been teasing you about our new
Oh,
feature
dang, this one's gonna be a long
and
one.
now the wait is
11
finally
minutes.
over. I can reveal that every night on the show we'll be treated to an episode of an informative and hilarious new segment called The Notice Board. It stars some top talent and we're very excited about it. But before we see it, let's have a quick chat with the writer, director and phenomenon, may I say, Jeff Algebra, guys.
Actually, I've got the algebra. I go by Jeff DePoon now. How'd you like that?
Yeah, very fancy. I suppose you need a new name now that you're a successful artiste.
Well, exactly. I'm earning enough to pay taxes now.
Oh.
It's shit.
And how does Angela feel about all this? Your wife.
Ah! Oh, God, no. No, she's long gone. No, she was holding me back. I'm with Norm now. We were married last month.
Norm de Plume.
Yeah.
And why did you write this? What was your inspiration?
Well, I received a telephone call offering me 25 grand to write a protein sitcom. And I heard my father's voice. It said, Jeff, you listen here, boy. You make hay while the sun shines. You wring every penny you can get out of this.
What happened?
So I wheeled him down to the transition centre, got out my typewriter and started clacking.
Utter shite.
And without further ado, let's give it up for the notice board.
Okay.
Good morning, Miss Craven.
Oh, morning, Ray.
Everything all right, Mrs. Craven? You look as worried as the vicar in closing time.
Oh, Ray, it's those young louts. They've vandalised my shop again.
No!
Yes! They've written all sorts of obscene language and crude pictures, and I know it's those damn youths.
I don't know. It could be the vicar at closing time.
I'm just worried they
So
won't
weird.
ever become productive members of the community. What if they never see the error of their ways and end up as social outcasts, such as shoplifters or bong rats?
Don't worry, Mrs. Craven. This is a very supportive community, and I'm sure that in time they will fit into this society like this key into this lock. See? Works like a charm.
What a lovely way to put it, Ray. And just like that, we can unlock their future.
Yes, yes. Wow! Look at all the letters in my collection today.
Can't even get inside the box.
Oh, I think that one's addressed to me.
What? This one? Oh!
That
so
was
you're
hand
right. Here it is.
It's a letter from my granddaughter, Brenda. She says she got an A on her maths exam because one of her friends has been helping her. She was always a team player, was our Brenda.
What's up, losers?
Oh! No! It's Brad! He's the coolest guy in the village.
That's right. I just got here on my motorbike.
Oh, clear off, Brad. We don't want any of your ilk around here.
What? Brad dudes?
No, ruffians. Have you come to tag the notice board with your gang signs?
No way. I've actually come to pin my resume on that notice board. I'm looking to do some tutoring after school.
What did you say? Tutoring?
That's right. That is very important. Would you mind, Ray?
Not at all.
So you, a young person, have been spending your time helping others and not just urinating on churches or huffing glue?
Hey, I haven't huffed glue for months.
Well, blow me down!
Do you know what? We misjudged you based on how young and cool you are and not on your actions.
No doy.
So it wasn't you who vandalised my shop last night or called me a rancid old crone from the back of a chopper?
No way. It can't have been me. I was too busy helping my friend Brenda with her maths homework.
Could you speak up there?
I just want to go to 2 so
For a
bad.
minute there that you
I know I'll lose
Brenda.
viewers if I do.
I did, you daft old sow.
Did you hear that, Ray?
Oh, yes, what a wonderful surprise. I now respect you as a man.
Put her there, Ray.
He's holding up everything.
Oh, what the heck? Give us a hug.
Whoa, what is happening here? Whoa.
Sorry to interrupt the first groundbreaking episode of the notice board, but we are receiving some breaking news. I'm being told we are picking up reports from across the continent of what appear to be nuclear explosions in 4 major foreign cities. Initial estimates put the death toll into they put them into millions. I'm being told we're experiencing some power shortages as a result, so apologies for the interruption.
Wow.
And apparently we can go live now to team headquarters for an emergency broadcast from Prime Minister Julia Salisbury any moment. Yes, let's go to that now.
Good evening, citizens and leaders of the world. Minutes ago, operatives working for Advance detonated nuclear explosives simultaneously in 4 major cities across the continent. We have similar devices in 58 other urban centres and will not hesitate to detonate them.
We are hearing stories of power fluctuations and what could be minor earthquakes throughout the continent. Stand by. We've lost contact with our benefactors in Urkistan and Konoslava. All our equipment seems to be resetting.
Ensure that your citizens become part of the new future. Your borders are now our borders. Your people are our people. They will finally be fed and clothed and educated and
I'm gonna just stay on his stuff.
But for your privileged few, the moment that they feared is now upon them.
This is unprecedented. Our government has
Allow me to be crystal clear. If you fire a single shot at our territory or harm a single one of our citizens, we will not hesitate to detonate further devices. You will not find them, though no doubt you are already
I'm
searching
keeping it up with
for them.
what I'm not supposed to do.
Our technology is decades ahead of yours. We will expect your complete acceptance of our terms by midnight tonight. Thank you.
I don't really talk about my personal life in my job. It's not relevant or important. So many of you may be surprised to learn that I have a brother. His name is David. And right now I can't get his stupid face out of my head. He's a researcher and he's currently travelling the continent for work. And I don't know where he is right now. And I should imagine that there are many of you sitting at home tonight digesting this news, and you also have loved ones on the continent. In Urkistan, or Havia, or San Palmerino, or Konoslava, which is where David was when I last spoke to him 3 days ago. So when I tell you I know how you are feeling tonight, believe me, I do. But I also know that there's a flow to events. I see it every day here. I know that although tonight it feels like we may be in a time of fear and darkness, we may actually be at the break of a new dawn. We don't know that yet. We can't know that yet. But together we will find out.
And I will be here every night, feeling what you are feeling. And with your help, maybe we can all get to that brave new world. My name's Megan Wolf. Let's make tomorrow better.
Ba-boom.
I've got people ringing around, but the telephone networks are overloaded. Okay. We'll find him.
Till we know exactly which cities were hit. Or
Megan. We will find him.
They could only see the nuclear thing, and they didn't realize that was just electrical surge. Broadcast completed. E, B, B. Got a C. Got an average again. Your full wages. Crippling debt. Yay! Channel 1 loves me now. Yeah. Well, thanks for watching some more Not Broadcast with me. The game keeps getting more fun and fun. Join me for some more. And have a good one out there. Please like and subscribe.